I'm joined by the senior Congress leader Salman Khurshid. Thanks very much, sir, for being with us. So, what is it? It's 80 seats that the Congress is being offered by the Samajwadi Party, is what we are told. I would assume you would want more. Where do those negotiations with the Samajwadi Party lie?
I think the basic principle has been accepted on both sides, and happily so. But there are sort of on the fringes, negotiations continue, exact numbers, a few seats that are perhaps very important for the Congress, a few seats that are very important for Samajwadi Party. Those that tidying up will continue for a few more hours, and I hope that by the time both leaders of the two parties come before the public to announce it, all these things would have been tied up.
Mr. Khurshid, you're saying hours, so you expect this process of tying up to end effectively sometime tonight, as early as that?
Well, difficult to give such a tight timeline to it. People are working overnight. People have been working for several nights now, 2-3 days and nights together. And as I speak to you, I do believe that people are still burning the midnight oil, if you like, the candle at both ends. So they will try and do it as quickly as possible. Nominations have already started for the first phase, so we need to get everything done as quickly as possible.
But what about the
not
RLD
a very tight
in this?
timeline,
Is that a variable? Because another piece of information we have is that the Samajwadi Party wants the RLD and the Congress to get about 100 seats to contest from. And therefore, the RLD and what they are negotiating independently, could that be a factor in how many seats you would ultimately get?
Well, if it's a tripartite arrangement and agreement, then there's a little bit of adjustment that everyone needs to make. Difficult for me to pinpoint the exact numbers and figures, but yes, something around 100, 120 seems to be what everyone is hoping to be able to work around. Let's give it a few more hours and we'll know.
What about Sheila Dikshit? Now, we've spoken to her earlier on in the day, and she said that if it is there cannot be two chief ministerial candidates. Akhilesh is obviously the leader of the alliance that you have chosen to want to get into. Where does that leave her? Isn't it somewhat uncomfortable? The Congress had brought her to be your chief ministerial candidate in Uttar Pradesh, and now at this stage it seems that you've left her potentially by the wayside. Difficult for a senior leader to be, I won't use the word treated, but to have to come to terms with this reality?
Well, I think she's very experienced, and she's a very solid soldier of the Congress party. She obviously knew that she was going in for a very tough battle, whether we fought on our own or we had an alliance. Much of what is now unfolding would have been familiar to her, because she was right in the heart of everything, and I imagine that she was party to an extent, and she would certainly be prepared. But she has a lot going for her, and I don't think that you should feel sorry. You should in fact feel proud that there is a person who is willing to put herself out to such an extent for the party.
So, Mr. Khurshid, she still has a role as far as campaigning in Uttar Pradesh is concerned?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would be very happy to see her come campaigning in my area, because she has a huge following there, and I'm quite sure that both parties would want her to be in those areas where she can make a considerable difference.
Mr. Khurshid, what about posts? Have you and the Samajwadi Party at this stage discussed, I don't know, Deputy Chief Minister in the future, should the alliance win? I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but surely at one level you'll be looking for posts. Don't deny it, sir, you're looking for posts. But just tell me that you are. Maybe it's not specific as yet.
That's you don't count your chicken before they hatch. I think that this is an improbable, difficult alliance that could not have been conceived barely a few months ago. Something that has happened, and has happened for the good of the country and good of Uttar Pradesh. I think it's an experiment for both sides. both of us have a lot to learn in order to take it forward beyond just the signing of the alliance. So there will be many things that will remain unsaid, many things that will be quietly discussed between our top leadership, and there will be things that evolve as we go along.
Rahul Gandhi's personal equation with Akhilesh and Priyanka Gandhi's equation with Akhilesh and Akhilesh's wife, is that how this all materialized?
Well, I think this has a lot to do with this alliance. It's something to do with the special chemistry that they've developed, something perhaps to do with the fact that they are the same generation, about the same age, share much of the background, etc. And certainly I believe they share a vision for UP and for the country. But that special chemistry has certainly worked.
And can we assume now, with this coalition being sorted out as we speak, that Priyanka Gandhi would campaign with Akhilesh potentially? Rahul would campaign with Akhilesh
I certainly hope so. We've been all waiting to hear that she will campaign, and I think that she's been hands-on in many of the decisions that have been taken, and we would certainly be very, very keen and anxious to see her campaign, see all of them together, campaigning together. I think it'll be a wonderful, refreshing and energizing campaign where all these young people come out and
but
talk
that's
about
still
their
your
dreams.
hope. It's not something that you know will happen, right? As far as Priyanka is concerned.
We take it step at a time. But let me just tell you that our understanding is that she is hands-on involved, and she certainly is not going to be standing aloof.
All right. Just a few more questions. Now, the assumption is that the family feud between Akhilesh and Mulayam Singh Yadav is over. In a sense, the Election Commission has decided that battle. Akhilesh has said that Mulayam Singh Yadav is my father. I will always respect him. He's a senior leader. He'll always have an important part to play in the party. He's met his father today. However, in the last little while, contrary to what was reported earlier on, Mulayam Singh Yadav has sent Shivpal Yadav's name for a seat. Earlier in the day, there was an indicator that it was his son's name which was suggested. Is this an indicator that once again, in this roller coaster sort of battle, as it were, between father and son, we've hit a problem area?
I hope not, and I do not think so. Let's not read too much into every little maneuver or move or little accommodation that's done within the family and within the top leadership of the Samajwadi Party. We've tried to stay clear of their personal emotions, and I'd rather that we stay clear and let them handle it themselves. But what's been conveyed and communicated to us is that we are going to work together. So in the spirit of togetherness, we'll take things in our stride.
Well, final question, sir. Is this limited to the UP elections? Irrespective of the results, do you see an alliance with Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party, stretching on to the national elections 2019?
I think this is a historic beginning. And as I said, we have a lot to learn, we have a lot to do. I hope that on the foundations that we make in UP, we can do bigger things across the nation, across the country. But we shouldn't rush into anything. We should just learn to work together with each other, learn to like each other at every level, at the ground level, at the districts, in the state itself, and wherever else they have their units in the country, as in Mumbai, for instance. There's a lot of hard work to do. But if we go with a positive spirit, we go with open hearts.
But at some level, Mr. Khurshid, has that been discussed? Yeah. You'll have to negotiate that relationship out beyond these elections. Yes. But at a broader level,
of course,
it's been discussed between the Samajwadi Party and the Congress that you're looking to take this beyond these elections?
I think there's a sense that this is not a one-night stand. There is a sense that this is going to be a lasting relationship. There is a sense that we are working on an edifice of something very large that will change the nature of politics in our country. Let's keep our fingers crossed and remain committed to that dream.